Yeah, that sounds cool. Hello, everybody. You look a lot scarier when you stood up at this end than you are when I'm sat down there. So yeah, I'm Tony. I work for the NHS and I'm the Chief Technical Architect across nhs.uk, going through a massive transformation at the moment, which heavily relies on node.js, but that is not what this talk is about today. Basically, I'm here to deliver an important message. There it is. Thank you very much. So yeah, we're facing a real issue in tech at the moment, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. I don't think there are enough women in technology. That's something I believe in passionately. I think the room today is representative of that, and it's very much the same in nhs.uk. It's a very male-dominated development environment, and we're working very hard to change that. In my house, we don't believe in those silly boundaries. We believe there should be more women in tech, and we need to get them started much, much earlier than we currently do at the moment. So at a time when we are reliant on iPads to do the babysitting and parenting for our children, and I'm guilty too. I've got 3 children and they all look at the iPad when we need to get stuff done. But we face a crisis because what happens is people see the children using iPads and assume that they're good with technology. Yes, they might be able to use it as a consumer, but if we don't do something about this issue right now and start teaching younger people what is actually happening in technology, how these things work at a very fundamental level, then we might miss a trick. You know, we're abstracting things constantly. We're making things easier to develop, easier to implement. So somebody's got to remember how the basics work, right? So that's what my mission is about, trying to sort that out. So our future is in little hands, and this here is my daughter, Sienna. And, she's a special little cookie. At 3 years old, we decided to start using technology. We started messing around with circuitry. We started lighting up LEDs and all those kind of things to try and just get her used to and familiar with how things work rather than just what they do for her. And it's been a really interesting journey. So little makers are going to make, but you have to create the right environment for them. You have to give them the tools, the space, the encouragement, the mentorship to help them understand how technology works and what it can do for them. So this was our very first project where we just lit up a few LEDs and controlled it with GPIO and a Raspberry Pi. And that there is a Chromebook in the background, which is running Chrome OS. It's a Toshiba Chromebook, Chromebook 2. Fantastic little device for the money, and the screen is absolutely insane. The issue with it is we couldn't do anything with it. We couldn't use Git, we couldn't track our code, we couldn't do some of the more powerful things, there were no Docker. It were really constraining some of the experiments and things we wanted to try. So what we did is we decided to embark on a project, and we hacked the Chromebook. So my 3-year-old hacked a Chromebook, and that there is the blog post relating to how she did this. She had mentoring from me who loosened the screws because they were a little bit tight, but she took all the screws off herself, took the lid off, took all the parts out and components to find this tiny little sticker, which you can see her hands manipulating there, which protects writing to the BIOS, pulled it off, put the thing back together, and then we installed Ubuntu, which you can see there. That lasted for about a week, and then we put Linux Mint on there. Sorry. So yeah, and it were a really interesting time when we did that, and I felt like it were a really important message that to her, she didn't really understand all these components, but she was getting involved. She saw inside a computer, which they normally don't see, and it were really enlightening. But more than anything, she just loved spending time with her dad, right? She loved spending time doing something that we were both interested in, and it's quality time where the 2 little brothers. So I've got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 8-month-old. So life's crazy in our house. But the 2 little brothers didn't get to be involved. It were me and her time, right? So we did that. We wrote a blog post. We thought we'll share it, and maybe somebody might see it and be inspired to do a similar thing with their kids. And yeah, basically a few people saw it. my blog's obviously like really cool and everything, and I get loads of traffic, but guess which one was her post? It kind of took off in a big way. So, you know, I think this one will probably relate it to her as well, but you can see my blog's pretty crap. I don't really get much traffic. My little 3-year-old comes along, does a little project, we put it up there, goes viral on Twitter, people start looking at it and all that kind of stuff. So after doing that, what we're really interested in is, obviously I work in healthcare and technology, which is two of my big passions. And we were invited to Health Tech Women UK, which is a bit like this. And they go around the country doing talks about what women are doing in technology, in healthcare, and sharing and mentoring each other. No exception. So I'm a member, I'm a male, obviously, in case that were under question. And basically I'm a career mentor for other women to help them get into technical positions, help them, you know, just kind of give them that career mentorship, and it's obviously free of charge and all that kind of stuff. It's great fun. They have wine, they have beer, they have pizza, which is the only reason I go, to be honest, and the only reason I'm doing this talk. So yeah, they meet all over the country. London, they have a presence. So any health tech women, if you want to go, you should. It's great. Equally, they do like men and they don't kill them. So you are welcome to attend as well. But they gave Sienna honorary membership. So she became, they have like a blog post of the month. So they took the blog post, they put it in their blog post of the month, sent it out to other people, and clearly that previous slide was the result. So when I went to Health Tech Women, I kind of felt like, because I'd been on this story and this journey for quite a while, it didn't feel very new. So I wanted something new to talk about. So Sienna came home with some homework, and basically what they did is they gave her a little flip chart of loads of letters that she had to learn, and they were jumbled up in a random order, and she kind of we had to flip them as parents, and she'd go through them and guess the letter. In true typical child fashion, she memorised the order, you couldn't change it, and therefore we didn't really know if she were recognising the letter or understanding the order that they were presented in. So we decided what we would do is use a bit of technology, or computer science as she calls it, and we would sort it. So what we did is we got this little Arduino here, which is like a £5 device, little LED matrix, and I'll just plug this in for some power. I think it says a name at the minute. There we go. So at the minute it just says a name, so we've changed that. But what we actually did for her homework is we just had it randomly picking letters, which she had to identify and call out. You can see that her name is spelt double N, and there's kind of like a long pause with the N where there should have been a blink. And that just shows how shit my coding is, because I'm responsible for that part. But I assure you, part of the plan and the delivery of this were absolutely excellent. So that's that. So then I had the exact same problem, right? So last time I came to Elnog in January, I committed to doing this talk, and then I'm like, oh, this is kind of old news now. I need something new and exciting to talk about. So I asked Sienna what kind of homework she got and everything, and she said, right, I've got to learn about space, Daddy. So like, yes, space, new homework, we love space. So we created a mission. This is the mission. So we had to learn about space. We needed to practice handwriting. We needed to use computer science to improve our understanding. That just means using technology. We had to identify how many astronauts are in space, and a baby brother who is 2 years or younger was the acceptance test. So he was the customer. He needed to be able to see exactly how many people were in space at any given point in time. So like, you know, I was kind of like, hell yeah, this is like space. You know, how good is that? There's like planets and things floating about, and we get to do all this kind of fun stuff. So how we tackled this is we printed out loads of little pictures, which I was hoping to bring, but I forgot them when I ran out of the house. And basically all they were is pictures of an astronaut, pictures of space, pictures of the moon, different planets. And what she did is she wrote underneath each one of them exactly what it was. We laminated it and we put it in a mission folder, which is pretty cool. So then it was like, right, okay, we're gonna work this thing out, how we're gonna do it, and how are we gonna get Node somehow integrated in it. We couldn't do that, so we decided to use Scratch. I'm only joking, we use Node-RED. So we used Node-RED, we got a Raspberry Pi Zero W, which clearly shows how recent we've done this, because they've only been available for a couple of weeks. Oh, sorry, damn, spilled beer, that's all I came for. So yeah, we decided we were going to use a Raspberry Pi Zero, and this is how we were going to tackle the mission. So this is her. It's maker time. Clearly excited. We've got a little kit with a little blink kit light on it, and she constructed the Pi Zero, put it in its little rainbow case and all that kind of stuff, and held it together. You can see she's quite pleased with herself over there. And yeah, it brings a lot of happiness to her whenever we do these things and she completes these missions. So she was clearly thrilled with what she'd achieved. So now, on to live demo time. Oh Christ, never goes well. So let's have a look. So what we've got is, where's it gone? I've literally lost my browser. Where are you? How do I find this browser? Do I have to come out of the presentation? Is that right? Let's come out of the presentation. I've literally lost my browser. And now it's all died. Oh, there we go, we're okay. Yes, so this is Node-RED. So, oh balls, that's twice. I really wanted that beer. So yeah, Node-RED, for the people that don't know, it's a bit like Scratch, where you can move and manipulate things around, and you can learn some of the fundamentals of computing and stitching things together. It was great for Sienna. She didn't know how to use a mouse when we did this experiment, but now she knows how to use a mouse. She knows how to double click and drag and connect things, and she, built these little projects. I did one here, which basically just sticks everything in a debug window, which has disappeared for some reason. Come back. Why have you gone? There you go. So basically, anybody tweeting LNUG, we're just chucking it out to a debug window. Very simple, no real heavy lifting, just connect via OAuth and it all kind of works. So then we went about our mission and we got the Raspberry Pi Zero W, which is here. And we decided we needed to light these things up, each one of them in sequence. And that's how it works. It's pretty simple, really. You just kind of hook it all up. This is just basically sending a payload of 8 because we've got 8 lights. And basically all we do here is we construct the payload, we construct the color, we emit the message, and away you go. And then eventually once 8 have lit up, we clear the thing down and get rid of the lights. We did it in red just to make sure that it really was multicolored. So we've got a little red one. And then we went on to our main project, which is hooking this thing up to work out how many people are in space. So we got a timestamp, which basically isn't repeating, it just injects when I click the button. We go off to the Astro API, which kind of looks a little bit like this. And you can see there, you can see how many people are in space and which spacecraft they're on at any given moment. Which is pretty fascinating in itself, like people in space. It's like insane, what? And yeah, so basically we just do a nice little bit of JavaScript, which she types in, get the count from the payload, return the count as the payload, so then it knows exactly how many lights to light up. And we come into this thing and we say, right, now you need to light all these lights up, however many we pass in, and we want them to be this color, which we can change. We limit it to 1 message a second, just so you see them progressively count up, rather than just going blur. So a little brother can do the acceptance testing and see, count along as it goes up, rather than having to look at each individual dot. And this is kind of the whole thing working for those that can see it. Has it worked? Yay! Live demo worked. How good is that? So this was a little project, and what she did is she took this to school and she showed the class how she'd approached how she'd approach this problem and trying to learn about space. The school were overjoyed. They got her in front of a load of scary people like you lot, and they basically, she talked them through it and explained what she'd done and why she'd done it. And it was kind of fascinating because it were obvious, like a lot of the other children were really interested, but they just weren't getting that experience and environment. So basically, I've agreed to do a couple of things. One is at work, I'm doing a kids coding day to basically give them all one of these and help them set it up. And I agreed to do the same for the local school, so the children that aren't exposed to it get a little bit of exposure. I think it's massively important that we do this and teach people how things work and how to knit things together to solve problems in new, interesting ways. So that's it. Next phase is, I might be able to show this. So Sienna loves rainbows. Let me just stop, space rainbow. All this is on GitHub. You can get the code and do all that kind of stuff. And build this yourself, sorry. Just let that stop. There we go. They're not super fast. So here we go, and we just run Python rainbow. There we go. So the next task is to make it do rainbows every 5 minutes while it's checking the API in an async fashion, and then obviously display and reveal the number. She's a kid, she loves rainbows and unicorns, so yeah, that's why it's called Space Rainbow. We just didn't quite finish that little bit off. So yeah, that's you know, pretty much the essence of the talk. The takeaway is super proud daddy, love spending time with my daughter doing things that I love and she loves. I think we need to help get girls and little people in general into technology, get them messing with these things and really understanding how they work. You know, these are like £9, I think, the Raspberry Pi Zero, a couple of extra quid for the little lights and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, the future doesn't just depend on them, it depends on you as individuals, us as parents, us as a society to get younger people and women into technology at a much earlier age if we really want them to take it on like we need them to. And yeah, that's it. So thank you. That's the company. We're hiring. We're north. That means above the M25. It's in Warrington. Don't suppose anybody's from there. But, you know, might as well have a go. Thank you very much.